Welcome to Iris Insights. Today's tutorial is based on creating a game called Tic-Tac-Toe, also known as Noughts and Crosses. The game will be designed using MVVM, SwiftUI and Swift. Here is a demo of the game. So I'm Noughts and the computer is Crosses. The computer won. So this is the type of game that we will be creating within our tutorial. So let's start our tutorial. So to start, create your application using a SwiftUI interface. So make sure you select SwiftUI and then click on Next. And then just save the actual application to your desktop or anywhere on your computer. And then now what we'll do, we'll create a new class called Player. So just click on CTR, control key, and then left click, and then click on new file, and then select Swift file, and then click on next, and then type in the name of the enum, which is called player. And then click on create. And then type in import SwiftUI. And now we'll create the actual enum. Just type in enum player string case nought put O there, and then for crosses type in cross equals and then put an X there. So the enum represents the player with 0 symbol and also represents the player with an X symbol. So the players will be the computer and the actual person that is playing. And now the next thing we need to do is create another class called GameViewModel. So select and then press CTRL button, the control button, and then left click and then select new file, and then select Swift file. Type in the actual name, which is called Game View Model, and then click on create. Import SwiftUI, and now create the actual class. It's called class GameViewModel observable object open bracket let board size equals 3. So this specifies the size of the game board, which will be 3 by 3. At publish public var board open bracket open bracket, player equals array, open bracket, repeating array, open bracket, and then repeating will be nil, and then count is 3, and then the other count is 3 as well. So what this does, it represents the game board as a 2D array of optional player values. Nil means an empty cell. The board is published as a property, allowing it to be observed for changes. So now what we'll do, let's just compile it to make sure everything is correct. And now let's go into content view. And then within content view, on line 10, press the return key and type in @state object private var view model equals game view model. So this creates an instance of the game view model using @state object property wrapper. And now the next thing we will do is delete everything between line 14 to 17. And also delete the padding on line 16. And now on line 13, type text noughts and crosses dot font title dot padding. So what this does, it displays the game title with a large font size and padding. And now create a VStack, which is VStack open bracket spacing 0 So the VStack is a container for the game board. Now type for each open bracket 0 dot dot is less than view model dot board size id dot self open bracket row in. What this does, it loops through each row within the board. And now type in hstack spacing 0, open bracket, close bracket. And then within the HTAG, type for each, open bracket, 0 dot dot, less than view model, dot, board size, ID, /self, open bracket, column, in. So this leaps through all the columns. And now create the actual buttons to enable the user to interact with the game. So just type in button, open bracket, action, so we add the button functionality later, so just enter. Oh, there's a mistake here. Okay, so just enter this comment, create a button for each cell on the board. Create a button for each cell on the board. And create another comment. Handle button tap by calling the make move method on the view model. And now on line 26, type in a bracket, this bracket here, and now to apply a caption to the button, just type in text, open bracket, view model, board, open bracket, row, open bracket, column, question mark, raw value, so this gets the actual values from the 2-dimension array, as this is the dimensions, the row and the column. So what it would do, it would display the values, noughts or crosses of the cell. And now type in dot font system size 60 weight dot bold, and this sets the font size and the weight of the text. Type foreground or foreground color, select foreground color and then type in view model dot board, open bracket, row, column, equals dot naught, dot naught, so select naught from the enum, or just type it in, naught, question mark, dot red, dot blue, and this sets the text color based on the value of the cell. So if the computer is playing, the color might be red, or if the actual player is playing, it might be, or it should be blue. And now type in dot frame, open bracket, width 100 and the height 100. So this sets the size of each cell. Let's type background open bracket, color, and select black, and this sets the background color of each cell to black. Now type in dot border, color, dot white, and this adds a border around each cell. And now we will add some padding. So to do this, type in padding on line 38, I think. Now after line 37, type the word padding, dot padding. Now create another H-stack. Just type in H-stack, open bracket, spacer, and V-stack, open bracket, close bracket, and type in text. CPU wins. And then type dot font title then type in text, open bracket, 0, and then type in dot font title, then type in dot font weight dot bold. So what we're doing here, we display the label for the CPU, like the computer's name, and the points, the amount of points or the amount of times the computer has won. So in the next tutorials we'll be making this dynamic so that the actual score is dynamically incremented, but for this tutorial it will be fixed for the first part of the tutorial. And now type in on line 49, type spacer. On line 51, type spacer. V-stack. Text. Open bracket. Player wins. Dot font. Dot title. Text 0. Dot font and title. Dot font weight. Dot bold. So this is similar to what we've done previously for the computer's player. So the same thing applies with the player's player, the human that's playing the game. So the player wins caption, it displays the label for the player and it displays the points of the player as well. But at the moment this will be fixed to 0. In later tutorials this will be automatically, dynamically generated. So now what we do, and let's try and run it and see how it works first, just to see the output. So to run it, just click on start. So it's compiling at the moment, should be loaded in maybe 10 seconds, but the MacBook is a bit slow. It's still compiling. The display is finally loaded. So this is the actual output. As you can see, it created the title that we created earlier, and this is the actual board 3x3 for the noughts and crosses functionality, and it displays the CPU caption as a player and the player's caption as a player with the points. So at the moment we need to align this. Seems like we need to add a spacer. So let's do that now. So on line 60, just type in spacer and let's run it again. Yeah, that's much better. And you can see now it's correctly aligned. It looks neater. The next thing we will do is add a bit of padding to the labels. So on line 62, just type in dot padding. And then next, the next thing we will do is add button functionality to enable the game to be reset. So we do this on line 65. line 65. So just type in, or line 66, just type in button, open bracket, action, and then, so to do the reset functionality, we'll do this in later tutorials, so just type in a comment, such as this, handle button tap by calling the reset game method on the view model. And then on line 68, add a caption to the button. We call this caption reset, so type in text, open bracket, reset, and then type in font, open bracket, title, dot padding, dot background, open bracket, color, dot blue, dot foreground, foreground color, dot white, and then dot corner radius, dot 10. So what we've done here is that we have displayed the reset button label, the caption, and then set the background color of the reset button. Then we set the text color of the reset button, and then we created rounded corners of the reset button by passing 10 to the corner radius. So now what we will do is just add a padding. So just type in dot padding, and now let's run the application to see if it's still working. Yeah, so everything is still displayed correctly, although at the moment we can't see any zeros or crosses, any noughts or crosses, as we are doing that functionality in the next tutorial. And you can also see the preview within live previews, but my MacBook is a bit slow, that's why I'm always running it in a simulator. So you can see the actual preview. You can click on or refresh your live preview. Probably takes a bit of time on my MacBook, so it should be shown in maybe 30 seconds. As you can see, it took a while to display the live preview on my Mac, but here it is. Here, as I mentioned earlier, that's why I always run the actual application using the simulator, because it's a little bit quicker than using the actual preview on my own Mac, because I need an upgrade on my MacBook. I need a faster MacBook really. So yeah, so what we've learnt, in summary, the content view struct presents a user interface of noughts and crosses, or tic-tac-toe game. It employs the game view model to handle the game state and other functionality and logic. The interface includes a game board, a wing count label for the CPU and a player, and a reset button. The at-state object property wrapper is used to manage the game view model instance. Overall, it provides an engaging and interactive experience for players playing the noughts and crosses game. Next week we will add more functionality to the game to make it more interactive and playable. But you can also download the full completed game from iosinsights.co.uk. The completed version, you can also upload it to the App Store if you want to. It's fully working and playable. So that's the end of the tutorial. Until next week. So please comment, like and subscribe to keep up to date with all latest content and videos.